If you have ever searched for a Stacy Sims workout plan, you'll know her whole philosophy is about training women differently, and she uses her motto, women are not small men. So I recently tried out the Power Happens program. So this is the program that Stacy Sims did alongside Haley Happens. So I wanted to share with you exactly what this program includes, the type of training, what it involves, and if it is worth your time. This is in no way sponsored. I have paid for this out of my own money so that I can give you a completely honest review as a health and fitness coach who is also in her 40s. If you're new here, my name is Emma. I'm a health and fitness coach for 40 plus women myself, and I'm always trying to keep up to date on the latest research. And Stacy Sims is someone who is at the top of the field in this area of expertise. I'm always looking at how I can optimize my training. Not only am I navigating midlife, I also have the challenge of PCOS, which has made maintaining my body weight ever more difficult. So I really wanted to see if I could get to feeling fitter, stronger, more resilient without burning myself out. So before we dive into this, maybe you already have Stacy Sims on your radar, but who is she? So she is the author of these two books, which I can highly recommend. However, I know that most people are probably not going to sit down and read these, and why you may be considering, is there a program out there that is going to put all of this information into one program that you can just follow? If you do like to go into depth and you need to know the why behind everything, I highly recommend these books. So Stacy Sims is an exercise physiologist and nutritionist, and she is really leading the way in research science, looking specifically at midlife women. And she's really been at the forefront of challenging the idea that women are not small men, because the problem that we've had in much of exercise science literature has that has always been done on college age male athletes. Women were often not taken into the mix when it came to the science because we were deemed too complex. However, because of those complexities, it's important that we have our training and our nutrition that are specific to our bodies so that we can really support our bodies through this transitional phase as we start to be dominated by change and flux in hormones, as certain hormones such as estrogen start to drop and can affect not only our performance but where we hold on to body fat and how we feel, not just physically but also mentally too. So when you hear about Stacy Sims workout program, it's really not just about the exercise, it's really a whole lifestyle philosophy and using the science to help women train smarter, to get stronger, keep progressing through every stage of your life. And I'm not going to lie, I have certainly felt the challenges through midlife. It is definitely harder at our age, but I'm so passionate about wanting to help women maintain and feel good no matter what stage of their life that we're in. There is now starting to be more research done on women specifically in this midlife phase coming into peri and menopause. So this is still an emerging science and it is still new. So I really wanted to follow this program to see the impact that it could have for me personally. And there have been some people that have said, you know, Stacy Sims' work is really geared towards high level athletes. However, I feel that there is some crossover to the general population and a lot of the tools that we can take on board as an everyday gym goer to make improvements and to see the kind of results that we used to be able to see when we went on a diet or exercise program when we were back in our 20s and things were just much easier then. So what is the Power Happens program? I'll put a link down below. I have reached out to them and have actually managed to get a discount code. So this is going to be my affiliate link down low if you want to check them out, where you can see that this is really a strength and power training program. It is a 12-week periodized training program, and periodization just means that you are going to be progressing over time. So they work generally in 3-week blocks, and every 3 weeks the program changes ever so slightly so that you are progressing over time. Now, this program does also come in a number of different levels, which can be a little bit confusing, I found, to really figure out which is the right program for you, because there's different 1, 2 and 3 beginners, an intermediate and an advanced program. Within each of these programs, the Frequency may vary. I ended up going into the intermediate 2, and I'm someone who trains regularly. I've been a fitness coach myself for 20 plus years, so I am experienced at lifting, but I decided that I wanted to go in with the intermediate program because I thought it would be better fitting with my lifestyle, just training up to 5 days per week. And also I really felt from reading the descriptions that the advanced one really is geared more towards those athlete types, so people who are still doing competitive racing. So I'm going to be talking specifically on the level 2 intermediate program. So with this program, it had 3 full body lifting days. There was one, again this varies throughout the program, but you have 1 sit or hit, which stands for sprint interval training, high intensity interval training, or the LISS training, which is low intensity steady state. These are the type of terms that maybe you've heard and never really understand, or never really been able to know how you would put that into a program. And this is what I really loved about it. Even as a health coach, I love having something for me to follow that I don't have to think about programming my own workouts. I like to really experience different styles and different programming so that I can then go on and use it with my own clients, and it really helps me to shape and be the best coach that I can be is when I'm learning from somebody who is at a higher level from me. So I felt really confident going into a program that was produced by Stacy Sims. She is a PhD, she is well versed, she has dedicated her entire life to training and working with this specific age group. So on the strength, full body strength workouts, you're going to be looking at working towards heavy lifting. There's obviously that beginner level as well. If you're not an experienced lifter or you're quite new in the gym, then that's probably be the better way for you to go. And you're going to be doing things like squats, deadlifts, chest presses. And then as the program progressed, because this is a 12-week program, there was more explosives and power moves towards the end. And this is a lot of the different type of training that Stacy will talk about, that we need to be doing heavy lifting so that we can maintain muscle mass. Maintaining muscle mass helps support our metabolic health, which can down regulate as we get that little bit older. It is up to 5 sessions per week, which can be quite a lot. I typically was training 3 to 4 times a week anyway, so I was quite excited to go on to this intermediate level. It was already going to be a push for me as I really challenged myself to try and stick to those 5 sessions a week as much as possible. I will fully admit I did not stick to every single workout, but that was really the beauty of it, that you can have some flexibility with it. And a lot of people actually, when I do my reviews, they're like, oh, you didn't stick to it perfectly. Like any good program is going to allow for some level of flexibility. Very few people, unless you are, yes, high level athlete and super dedicated. I am a busy mom, I have a busy life happens. So we've got those 3 lifting days, and kind of, I suppose you want to consider it more cardio based workouts, whether that is high intensity, whether that is sprint interval training, or whether that is a steady state training. And this was actually a bit of a shift for me. I have recently, with my challenges with PCOS, I've really backed off and doing a lot of cardio work, and I've really felt my fitness levels decline as a result. I have always been strong, but I was definitely feeling like heavier, not as fit, and I didn't like the way that I was feeling, but I'd kind of had to pull back because of some of the challenges that I'd been having with my PCOS. So I was really excited to look at this as a challenge, to push myself to do more of the cardio elements and to bring into more specifically sprint interval training into my workouts. And I used to do a lot of HIIT back in the day, and I actually really enjoyed coming back to doing some of these sessions. So that's kind of how the style of workouts is mapped out. Now this program is designed for in a gym, or at least a very good home gym setup. So I have a home gym setup. I don't have all of the equipment that was in the program, but there is a lot of substitutes given. There are always ways that you can adapt the program. Unless you've got a really solid and quite substantial home gym setup, this is probably going to be better suited for people to take into the gym with you. The app is great and really simple to use. There are great demonstrations with those variations and options. If you need to switch out exercises, it's all there in the app for you. There is also a space for you to track your reps, to track your weight. There's a timer in there as well. So I really love the formatting. If there was one minor thing that I could say about this, was that there's a little ding at the end where it counts you down 3, 2, 1, your time rest period is up. I just wish that was a tiny bit louder because sometimes I would miss it, but that's like a minor thing. The app I found was really easy to use to store all your information so you can refer back, you can check on your previous weights to see that you're progressing. And I really love something as simple as like it's counting out the sets for you, because if there's one thing when it comes to midlife, oh my god, how hard is it to count out your sets and remember how many you've done. It's a 12-week program. We're looking at that progressive overload, but it works in 3-week blocks, which I kind of like. Most of the time though, you kind of get the recommendation of be working in like 4 to 6 week blocks, but I really liked that there was quite a rapid changeover in the style of training. So in block 1, we look at ascending trisets, which means that you are working the same or similar muscle group and having varying exercises and increasing the rep range. So it is a lot of volume in this first part of the program, meaning that you're going to be doing a lot of reps. So like on your first exercise, we started off with 8 reps. Then we're doing in a slightly different exercise, but still targeting the same muscle group. And then you're doing 10 reps. And then on your third tricep, you're doing like 12 to 15 reps that you're really going to start to feel the burn in the muscle. Focus of this style of training, really focusing on muscle building. Now I know for women that can sound scary, but women typically, especially midwife women, are not going to be building huge muscles. So you've got to trust the process on this. This is really getting you kind of used to lifting and working up towards the heavier loads. Then in block number 2, there are strength straight sets. So normally on a strength set, you'd be looking at like 5 by 5 rep. On this one, do 4 by 6. And so really working at the higher end of strength. We're really loading up now and starting to lift those heavier weights for just 6 repetitions with a lot more rest time in between. In the third block, we worked with supersets with a drop set of the end, switching back into a muscle building phase. And then the final 3 weeks is a mat strength set. So working on 4 by 4 with then 1 back off set with like higher rep range. So really working on increasing your max strength. And then in between that, we've then got that mix of whether it is HIIT training, whether it is sit training. Sprint intervals have, as much as they can be disgusting in the time, I really have noticed the difference in my fitness levels. Sometimes if I was like, oh, I can't fit that one in today, that kind of like mental headspace, the sprint intervals was often that I would talk myself out of doing, but yeah, it's the one that I think I needed the most, because we can really pack in really significant changes to our cardiovascular fitness within a short amount of time. And there is also some research coming out that supports the use of sit training for brain and cognitive health too, and just having that willpower of to be able to push through something really hard, I think as a midlife woman is really incredibly empowering. So I followed the program for 12 weeks. During that time, I actually didn't drop much weight. I dropped 4 pounds during that weight, but I have definitely increased muscle mass. So I am feeling more toned and defined, specifically in my upper body. I always have the problem area of my midsection, and that is very much down to my nutritional habits. But I am feeling incredibly strong right now and so much fitter than I have done in years. I've reached some PBs. So I got 110 kilogram hip thrust, which I was incredibly proud of. And again, feeling strong is just incredibly empowering for feeling like your training is paying off. I have literally gone back. I have reset on the program. So you get given a calendar within the app so you can track your workouts as you're going along. It ticks them off. I've found when you go back into the desktop version, you can reset your start date. So I'm literally like circling through this program again. And I think that is a great thing with this program, because it is a hefty investment. It is just short of $200, but you could, and I would probably recommend that you cycle this through maybe 2 or 3 times before advancing onto the next level. This is one of the best programs also for giving you full and in-depth nutritional support as well. There are also monthly live calls with Hayley Happens and Stacy Sims, where they talk about updates, they answer members' questions, and I found that these have been great to listen to. I'll listen to them when I'm out walking with my dogs. I do find that some of them can be a little bit more technical and very in-depth, and I know that when I talk to some of my clients, when I send them like podcasts and stuff, they're like, oh, I can't listen to that, I need you to like dumb it down for me. I think she does do a great job of really explaining it in layman terms. And for me personally, as a health coach, I just sort of devoured a lot of the information because I was really, really interested in what she had to say. And I think the fact that if you pay this as a one-off program, you still get access to those monthly updates is an incredibly high value thing, because I think the more knowledgeable we are about our own bodies, the more empowered we can feel about making changes. For me personally, this really leaned into the style of training that I already really enjoy. I love feeling strong. I love feeling powerful. And this really gave me a structured program that really challenged me to push myself with both my weights and adding in that extra layer of cardiovascular fitness. If we look at my overall results, yes, I got some PBs. I'm definitely feeling a million times stronger than I was when I started out. Lose 4 pounds of body fat is pretty significant for me. Again, as someone with PCOS, weight loss doesn't come easily for me. I'm also someone who already strength trains. I think if a beginner was going into this, you get that beginner's adaptation, meaning that you get more muscle building and fat loss is easier for beginners. I'm really happy with the rate of that loss, because if I know anything as a health coach, the slower you lose weight, the better chance that you have of supporting your metabolism along the way and not getting a rebound afterwards. So regardless of whether there's huge changes in how my body looks, there are definite significant increases in how my body feels. I'm feeling fitter. My energy levels are definitely starting to improve, although with the increased training, there are sometimes some days when I'm also more tired, but I know that in the long run that will lead to increases in fitness levels and improvement in energy overall. The main cons is really around the equipment. If you're not already in a gym, you would have to invest in some home equipment, and some of it might be a little bit intimidating. I do think they do a great job of breaking down all of the exercises, but it should also be kept in mind that this is not a weight loss focused program. This is a strength and power building program. If you listen to any of Stacy's work, she doesn't massively focus on weight loss because she is more concerned with helping women to live longer, better functioning lives, meaning that we're living longer, we're staying out of the nursing homes, we are not these frail, weak frames that can happen to women as we age, and we lose that power and strength of estrogen as we head into perimenopause. So this is not specifically a weight loss program, it is more of a female empowerment and longevity program, and that actually I really love that, and that is found also in her nutrition. It is about fueling your midlife body too, and not always focusing just on being smaller. Who is the Stacy Sims plan best for? I would be interested to see what is inside the beginners program, but I would say this is best for women who are already training, who have already experience of lifting weights, are quite confident in the gym. Definitely if you are new to training and want to start lifting, there is a beginners program out there. The intermediate is very much geared towards the intermediate, and there, you know, she's really targeted very well, and I am very interested to potentially move on to the advanced program to see how that differs and changes. But I feel as someone who is experienced in fitness already that this was still incredibly challenging. If you weren't ready to make the investment into the program, then I would highly recommend you get the books. However, I do find in the books the specific programming is nowhere as technical. Like, that programming is quite technical, and that's really what you're paying for, their expertise into put together a really solid progressive program that is going to see you increase in muscle definition and tone and feeling stronger, and it's just ready to follow. It's self-structured, it's really easy to use. I love that there is also an amazing support group on Facebook where you can ask questions. There are a lot of very active people in there, and if you need alternatives, you can just post in the group, and that Facebook support group is excellent. So to summarize, in case you hadn't already guessed, I really love the program, and I've really felt the benefits of doing this program. I'm going to run through it again. I'm going to dial in a little bit more on the nutrition, but I've been incredibly happy with the progress that I've made. If you have any additional questions, maybe anything that I haven't touched on within the program, then please do let me know. I have reached out to them, and I've managed to get you a special an exclusive discount code. So I will put that down in the description below. Let me know if you've tried it out and what you think of it, and I really hope you love it as much as I do. It is definitely up there with one of the top programs that I've tested out so far. I'll also put a link down below to some of the other programs that I've tested along my journey, as I am trying to figure out the best workout programs and apps for us midlife women. If you're still watching, thank you so much. I love and appreciate you. Make sure you're subscribed if you aren't already, and I will see you on the next one.